Hello, I've been learning Dvorak over the last month and a half, and I'm just showing you this website. It's called keybr.com. I'll put it in the description. I spent about 20 minutes a day trying to learn it, and just a bit of context as well. I know QWERTY to about 60 words per minute or more, but I don't type it properly, I guess I would call, quote unquote, properly. I kind of use 3 fingers from each of my hands. I actually don't really know what my technique is, but I learned QWERTY just by playing video games and trying to type things quickly. I kind of built my speed up that way. Otherwise, apart from that, I've kind of learnt it not properly. There have been times when I've tried to learn it a bit properly, but I don't know how much of that I've actually kept in my head. But I've got QWERTY skills to about 60 words per minute more. I think my fastest might be 70 maybe 80, but I doubt it. I don't practice enough. Anyway, this website I've used over the last month and a half to learn Dvorak. I'll just show you some of my stats. So down here, you can see I started halfway through June 2021. Today is July the 29th. So I've practiced today as well, and I've finally covered all of the keys. You can see all the keys that I've learned here. I'll start from the top, and then we'll move back down again. And you notice that also that I've missed a couple of days. You can't let that keep you behind. Just get back on the horse and keep studying again. So about 20 minutes a day. Today I did 25, but I think 20 minutes is a good 10 to 20 minutes is pretty good. Again, I wouldn't say hold fast to those kind of times. Just give it a go. Just do a little bit every day and cut out some time to do it. You'll notice that I only spent, let's round up and say 13 hours to learn Dvorak. So it's not that bad in the grand scheme of things. I spent 13 hours over the last month and a half, and I've covered Dvorak. Sure, my speed isn't that great. My average speed is 30 words per minute. But I'm able to peak sometimes at about 48, and so I'll get better with time. So from now on I'll be picking up in speed. It also gives you these stats here. It shows you your top speed, but also your average speed, and tells you how many people you're better than. So I'm almost better than the third of the lower half of people, and well, at least the lower half of people who have used this website. And I'm intending on bringing that up. It'd be great. I want to see how long it takes for me to get to 60 words per minute, which is my QWERTY speed. I'll do a recording for that as well. It also gives you some stats in terms of the keys and how slow or fast you are. So all the red marks here are slow. It doesn't actually give you a number for what slow means, but I guess maybe it means slower than your usual, because it keeps a lot of different stats and regarding your speed in terms of, I think it's how fast you get to the key and press it kind of thing. It's not something that I keep in mind while I'm actually practicing, because it can get really distracting if you do that to yourself. Usually I just hop into a practice session and just kind of chill. I'll put on some chill music and just get into it. You'll notice here as well that for the first, like, I think it was maybe 200 lessons or so, and a lesson is about 3 lines of text. For the first 300, maybe 200 lessons, I was only covering 6 different letters, and then eventually it started introducing other ones, and you'll notice here that it kind of introduces them relatively quickly. Sometimes like in the case of the Y and C, it introduced them pretty much straight after each other. And you'll notice on this graph that shows you your typing speed as well. So I was getting really good with just the 6 letters, got fantastic, and then I think this says I peaked at about 38 words per minute. And then when it introduces a new letter, you'll notice there's always these dips. And then I kind of rise a little bit again and then dip again, but it doesn't let you drop so far down. It doesn't introduce letters so fast that your speed drops down to nothing. These curves on the purple line is the number of keys in the lesson, and this is just like, it's kind of hard to read this one because this is one key that has been introduced, and then it evens out, and then so on and so forth. But I think it's easier reading this typing speed over time kind of thing. And there's a smoothness indicator here as well. I usually keep it around about halfway. That's the default anyway. it's a bit more readable than trying to pass kind of, okay, what's actually happening in this data here. I think it does, it averages as an amount. It's up to you. If you're a data scientist, you can go into a bit more of the detail. But again, you notice here that there's these dips every time a letter gets introduced, and then slowly I get speed again, and then introduce another key, so on and so forth, and I've gone back up to here. What else does it show? We've got key typing speed, so if you wanted to look at specific keys, so this is E, and you cover in Dvorak, you have the E letter E for the whole time. So that should kind of follow my speed, kind of. You'll see some, actually, it picks up a fair bit of speed up in here as well. But it's interesting, you can look through and go, oh yeah, what about N? What about the letter T? And you can, oh wow, okay, I'm just good at T. I can get 52 words per minute with the letter T. But that makes sense because of the layout of Dvorak. And then you'll notice that some of them are red, and those are the ones that I need to learn again. And this is the fantastic thing about this website. It goes into some more stats. It's up to you whether or not you want to dig into that. This last one here is a bit easier to read. The green means you're getting good at it, and the red is how slow you are. So I guess I for me is one that I need to build up speed, and that makes sense because I have to move my finger quite a fair bit to reach I. And I imagine X would be similar, but X was introduced quite late in the game. It's about here. Oh yeah, so I'm going pretty slow. Anyway, looking at the practice sessions, I need to get into the multiplier. I haven't tried that yet, or high scores. Anyway, getting back to the practice sessions, this is what it looks like once you've completed the whole keyboard. I think what will happen is it'll start looking at all the different letters and figuring out which ones I need to work more on. So W at the moment I need to work on, so there's a W word here, and there's a W here, and I think it'll give me more practice for W and bits and pieces. So I'll probably give this maybe 10 minutes a day now instead of 20, and then use another 10 minutes just to do some creative writing or maybe journaling of some sorts to keep my Dvorak up. Dvorak's been a good keyboard layout to learn. I do find it is more comfortable than the QWERTY keyboard. There are plenty of other videos out on YouTube if you want to look at reviews of Dvorak keyboard and whether or not you should learn it. It's up to you really. I don't know if it's the best thing to do. It's quite easy to switch. People talk about, oh, it's so hard to switch. No, it's not hard to switch. I just have to press Shift and Control, and then I've switched over, and then Shift and Control, and I've switched back to QWERTY. And this is on Windows. I'm sure there'll be other shortcuts and stuff on Linux and Mac as well. It's not hard. It's not hard to switch. I don't know. It's not a problem. And you don't forget how to type in QWERTY as well. Not a problem. Again, there's these kind of issues that some people bring up have been covered in other YouTube videos. Go look them up. Look up Dvorak reviewed, or there's plenty of them out there. So if you're wanting to learn keyboard layout, even if it's the QWERTY keyboard layout, I highly recommend this website. I found it quite efficient. In my practice sessions, again, this only took me 13 hours over the last 1.5 months. You just cut out 10 minutes of your day, just put on some cool music that you like listening to, and just chill. Don't stress about it. Give it a go. It's good practice. Yeah, nothing else that I can think of that really kind of sticks out. But it's a good website. I'd say give it a go.